All right, welcome to another episode of The Climb. This show is dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music industry. In fact, The Climb isn't an acronym. It stands for Creating Leverage in the Music Industry. In the music business, creating leverage in the music business. I want to introduce you to my co-host, Brent Baxter. Yep. Brent is an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady Antebellum, Joe Nichols, to name a few. And you can find him on manvsrow.com. That's manvsrow.com. How you doing, Brent?
I'm doing well. And I'm excited about introducing you, Johnny, to everybody out there. This is Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. It's an innovative artist development company. Not only do they develop and improve your artistry, they also grow and monetize your fan base, creating cash flow. Daredevil's worked with artists such as Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, all multi-platinum artists, just to name a few. So you can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That's production, singular, no S, daredevilproduction.com. Howdy, Johnny.
How you doing, brother?
I'm excellent. I'm glad to be here.
Me too, man. I'm liking this podcast. This is going to be fun.
I am too. So I am excited because I get to go to school today because I get to learn from you stuff I don't know that much about. So I'm excited. I'm just going to sit at the feet of the master and maybe ask some questions and try to learn. So what do you have to teach us today?
We want to talk about we want to address the fundamental flaw in the music industry. I mean, at the end of the day, commerce happens. The music industry creates a product. We sell that product. People pay money for that product. The money comes back, and the artists and the writers and the people that orbit around the music industry all get paid. The lawyers, the publishers, the booking agents, blah, 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 blah. That all comes from creating a demand for that product. But if you talk to, this is true of just about any industry, if you talk to any CEO from any industry, from any part of the country or any part of the planet for that matter, and ask them what the number one asset is, they're going to tell you it's their customers. Mm-hmm. Okay? Yes, they like their employees. They're going to say that if they're in a politically correct type situation, but their employees aren't going to be around if the customers aren't paying any money. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? The customer, the employee? The customer. Mm-hmm. Can't just go get 50 great employees that are the best people on earth and not have something to sell or not have any customers to sell it to because you're not going to have a company. You're going to be underground. Gotcha. So here's the issue, though. I mean, and think about this for your grocery store, whether, if you're east of the Mississippi, you're at Kroger. If you're west of the Mississippi, it's Ralph's, right, or Publix or whatever. Think about how much trouble they go through, a business like that, to get your customer information. Not only do they have your contact information, your address and everything, but they know your purchasing habits. Do you buy 1 or 2% milk? When do you buy? How much money do you normally spend? And a lot of people come at that from a creepy kind of, that's a big brother thing, and I don't want anybody to know that about me. But this is a necessity for this kind of a business, because a lot of people don't know that the food business operates on a very small margin, 3%. They don't make a lot of profit. Mm-hmm. And there have to be brick and mortar because it's perishable food, right? Web vans didn't work, man. Nobody wants their food delivered to their house. I don't know why, but it didn't work. So brick and mortar. So they have to know that shelf space, every inch of that shelf space is worth a lot of money, and they have to make sure that they're selling what you want to be buying, and that's why they monitor that stuff. Mm-hmm. However,
like your Kroger card or whatever, your membership card, you always scan that, and that tells them who you are and what you just bought.
Exactly. And you get a discount for that, right? So it's an ethical bribe, essentially. Like, if you use this card and let us get this information, we're going to give you discounts on the food.
Right.
And that's extremely helpful to them to optimize the space in their store. But if you take a gun and you put it to Tim McGraw's head or AC/DC's head or Jay-Z's head or Lady Gaga's head, they have no idea who's buying their product. Mm-hmm. They don't know. So that creates this subculture of legacy artists, right? The artists who used to have a record deal, who have $1 million brand name that you know and love. I got a ton of friends that are in, I'm an 80s rocker, right? And so I have a lot of friends that had big record deals and were big bands back in the 80s, but they're not big bands now. They're legacy artists, and they have $1 million brand name, but they don't have $1 million budget. So if you don't have the contact information, This is very just common sense. If I can't reach out and touch you, the only way that I can reach out and touch you is to broadcast. I have to do a mass marketing campaign, which costs a lot of money. That's $1 million budget. Plus, you've got to be in every magazine and every morning show and every late night talk show. And you've got to be everywhere for 6 weeks to let people know the new record's out. Right. And that used to be an extremely effective method for doing business. However, it was
about the only method, wasn't it?
It was about the only method. I mean, there was some word of mouth, but that always built up to when you got in the big leagues, you were in the mass market, Right. And but if a lot of people aren't aware of this, but I mean, think about this just common sense, like plain simple facts. In 1979, there were 3 networks, television networks: ABC, CBS, and NBC. So if you had the bottom show, the crappiest show on TV, those 3 networks split up 228 million sets of eyeballs.
Yeah.
So you had 30 million people watching your stupid show that ranked number 3. Okay. And now we've got 1,000 channels and a lot of choices. So the biggest, like I think The Walking Dead, right, is a huge, massive hit show phenomenon. Has 5-6 million viewers. Yeah. So a hit TV show today, because TV shows generate ad revenue, doesn't make anywhere near the amount of money that a hit TV show did just 10 years ago because the audiences are smaller. Well, the same is true with radio, and that's what's happening with the record industry. So where we see the industry going is really it's going to be an exercise in owning the information. You have to be collecting contact data, whether it's through text messaging at live shows or events, or whether it's through email squeeze pages. We have artists that we work with, like Abby Cohn, Bailey James. These artists, they give away music for free in exchange. They just got to tell them where to send it in exchange for an email address. And then they're able to contact you and keep in touch with you and let you know what's going on. And then you start to build the fan base that way. And in another episode, Brent, we talked about creating relationships.
Yes.
And how important that is. Well, this is the way that you're going to have to do that. This is the way you're going to create your tribe, is through the email. And let me tell you how important this is. I mean, first of all, if you're an artist and you're selling and you're out there doing the blood, sweat, and tears and spending the money to market your product, to target a fan base, target your little beehive, and to deepen that relationship with that beehive enough where they're going to spend $10 to buy your CD, you should be having your own store. Right? Why would you want to give away 30% of the money for some space on a server? I mean, you have to have a presence on iTunes and CD Baby and Spotify and Pandora, but you don't want to direct anybody there on purpose. You want to direct them to your store, and you want to go through the time and effort of setting that up.
Because for one thing, you have no idea who buys off those sites, right? You
don't have the information. This is you know what? That's such a good point, Brent, because when iTunes first came out in 2003, it was delayed for I don't know how long because the record labels were arguing with Steve Jobs at Apple. We want you to share the customer list. And Steve Jobs won. He said, I'm not going to give them to you. So all that time, all that energy that they spent fighting for, and they're still not doing anything today, this 12, 13 years later to try to tackle that.
Right.
And that's the industry flaw. And you see sales are decreasing because the mass market is breaking down. They're just the methods that they've been using that have been so successful for decades are not working anymore. The proof is in the pudding. The numbers don't lie because the numbers can't talk. Best-selling record last year broke 1 million sales, barely, in country music.
Right.
10 years ago, it was 11 million. It was 10 times that amount. This year, 2015, there's only one record so far that's gone platinum, and that's Drake. That's sad.
Wow.
And they're spending the same amount of money, but they're just not reaching the people. So you have to own the information. You have to create the relationship, And a lot of people think like social media is the way that's the answer.
That's where you can build your tribe. You go on Facebook and you get a bunch of Facebook fans, a bunch of, Twitter, contacts and that kind of stuff, a bunch of Twitter connections, a bunch of people following you on Instagram. So are you saying that's because you don't own any of the information on that, right? But you're able to talk to your people. Is that good enough, or is that?
It's not good enough. It's you know what it is? It's a cocktail party. Imagine going to a cocktail party full of all the songwriters, the hit songwriters that you want to be, that you want to meet as an artist, and all the record industry people who can change your life forever, and you don't collect any cards.
Oh, so as soon as you walk out of the party,
you better remember it all, or you got to go back and talk to this guy here, and of course he'll give you that information for a hefty price. You know, that's what social media is. So social media is an awesome tool for targeting an audience. If you're a band that you feel like, man, if I could be on tour with Metallica and their audience saw my band play, they would love my music too. Then you can find that group on Twitter. You can find that group on Instagram. You can find that group on Facebook. You can, you know, it's astounding what you can do with that. But you need to have a mechanism in place for capturing the information. I've got a real world story to tell you, like how Daredevil got burned on this. Like this is how we learned the hard way. We used to do a contest with artists that we worked with that was designed when Facebook had EdgeRank. That was essentially Facebook would rank your posts and the exposure of your posts essentially based on how much activity those posts were getting. Okay. So we had a trick.
The more activity they had, maybe the more people that would see it out of your
organically. Right. Okay. Like, okay. So because they would say, hey, this is more popular, more people want to see this. So we're going to allow, because Facebook has filters. I mean, the average person on Facebook, the average person gets 1,500 access to 1,500 posts a day from their friends. Wow. And nobody can see that much. So Facebook ranks them and filters them so you're not just bombarded with information. Gotcha. So this was called EdgeRank back in the day. This no longer exists, but with Colin Ray, we did a contest. We gave away, he had 118,000 likes on his Facebook page at the time. This is December 2013. We did an acoustic guitar, autographed acoustic guitar giveaway, and we just had a little contest that was designed to generate activity. We said, hey, win this guitar right now, comment below. If somebody comments below you, keep commenting. Everybody keep commenting until we comment stop. The person above our stop comment wins the guitar. It's just random, right?
Gotcha.
It's 1 hour, 100,000 comments in 1 hour. Right?
Wow.
Boom, it was amazing. And then this preceded the sales post that we had for the record that we were promoting for him. Okay. So we're going to reach a lot more people organically because we had this amazing amount of activity.
So the next post,
the prior post, see how we were doing that?
See it. Oh, look at you. You should think about, telling people how to do this stuff.
All right. So we did it. So we did it again with Jamie O'Neill. And this is kind of weird. Like I didn't expect this, but the numbers that we would get in an hour of comments were pretty closely correlated to the amount of likes that you had on your page. Jamie O'Neill had 12 or 13,000 likes at that time on her page, on her Facebook page. We got about 12 or 13,000 comments in an hour. Then we did it again a third time with Andy Griggs. He had about 45,000 likes on his page, same acoustic guitar giveaway. We got about 45,000 comments in 1 hour on his page. Then we did it a fourth time, Brent. With Ty Herndon, 67,000 likes on his page at the time. This is October 2014. Okay. And we got 67,000 comments.
Wow.
Okay. And then boom, we get the opportunity, the Mother Lode, the Golden Goose, Tracy Lawrence, 13 million records sold. I mean, this guy's just a gift from God. His voice is amazing. 1.1 million likes on Facebook. So I'm like, kapow, we're going to get a contest that does 1 million comments in 1 hour. I have every right to expect that, right?
And you've done it 4 times in a row.
4 times in a row. Right. And so I'm like, even half of that, even 500,000 comments, this is a press release. I'm going to spend money. This is 3 years of business for Daredevil. Like, how does a legacy artist like Tracy Lawrence get this much attention in 1 hour?
Right.
I'm the reason, and
yeah.
In long story short, man, 50,000 likes. 3 hours we let that contest go. 50,000 likes. And the reason is nobody saw it.
Why didn't they see it?
Because we didn't pay.
Wait, you didn't pay on the others, though?
Didn't pay on the others either. Facebook changed the rules. They're a publicly traded company now. They've got to monetize, and they changed the rules. And now you got to pay to reach your fan base. So, which kind of sucks for Tracy, and I feel bad for him because he hired a great company to help guide him on growing that Facebook and finding his fans and getting them to like that page and growing that from 75,000, I think Facebook likes, to 1.1 million. And they're real. Those are real, honest to goodness Tracy Lawrence fans. And he spent a lot of money doing that. The people that got paid that money to do that did a lot of work to do that. And basically now it's like having a warehouse full of vintage Ferraris and no car keys, man. You can't drive it anywhere. You just get to look at it.
He's got all those fans that like his page, but because of the way Facebook changed the rules, those fans are no longer seeing what he's putting out there.
Only a very short amount of them are seeing it. Yeah.
Unless he's putting out major bucks.
That's right. And you know what? That'll happen with Twitter, and that'll happen with Instagram. As they continue to grow and they get big, they'll monetize, and they're going to start putting up barriers. So here's the name of the game. We'll wrap this up real quick. You have to own the information. You have to be collecting contact data. Not that difficult to do, but as you do that, and if Facebook, charges twice the price, you don't care. I got the email addresses right here. I can email them for free. Right. and keep that relationship going. You still need to have a presence on these places, but you have to understand the nature of the beast, that the rules are going to change and you're not going to be able to access that. So I think you and I were talking, Brent, and you said that that was like building a business on, what was the quote that
it's like building your business building on land that you don't own.
That's right.
They can kick you off at any time.
And they can kick or charge you or raise the rent. Or do whatever. Yeah. You are not in control. And so as an artist, as an indie artist, it's important that you need to be in control for that. Okay. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Focus on that. Squeeze pages, text messaging. There's services out there. We use Aweber and Lead Pages at Daredevil for our squeeze pages. Squeeze pages, if you're not familiar with the name, you're familiar with the technology. If you go to get something for free, you got to give your email address in exchange for that, because they send it to your email. So they get your contact information. You opt in and allow yourself to be marketed and give permission to be marketed by them. And then hopefully they're not annoying. You can unsubscribe anytime, but you want good content from them. So
and this is stuff that, as we go through the podcast, and you have stuff, I'm sure, on your website at daredevilproduction.com, that we will be going further in depth in some of this stuff. I know we just kind of touched on squeeze pages and some of this stuff, but Johnny knows this stuff inside and out, and he'll be walking me and you through that over the course of the show here. So don't run off going, well, they didn't dive into everything. We keep the show short and sweet as we can, and you just got to come back and listen to some more, and we'll get into all this stuff.
Try to keep you interested. That's right. And a lot of it's up there too on daredevilproduction.com. It's free. It's the blog. If you dig into that blog archives, you'll find some in-depth conversations on squeeze pages and how they work. And the same with Brent's content too for songwriters. manversusrow.com. You want to subscribe to that. It's a great some great creative writing exercises every week, and then great insight on how to be a pro songwriter and how to make a living doing that today, and what really needs to happen. He demystifies the just a lot of people unaware, and they have sort of dreams of what and ideas of what it should be like, or what they think it's like, but then this is what it's really like, and you need to be a student of the game, as always, right?
Yeah, student of the game.
So with that, not only is Brent just a genius songwriter, but also he is a man who likes to give away gifts. He likes to give away his knowledge. Brent wrote a songwriting book called Think Like a Pro Songwriter that's done quite well on Amazon. And you're giving it away for free, man, right?
Yes. You just tell me where to send it, which makes me familiar.
That is.
I've been talking to Johnny. So yes, if you go to giftfrombrent.com, giftfrombrent.com, then you can get instant access to Think Like a Pro Songwriter. I give a lot of kind of the mindsets that I've seen both through myself that have brought value, and then other pro songwriters, kind of the way they think and the way they operate. It's free ebook. Just let me know where to send it, and I'll send it right out to you at giftfrombrent.com. But I'm not the only one in a generous mood, because Johnny, you have a book as well, and an Amazon best-selling book at that.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, Music Marketing on Twitter 101. It is a best-selling book. We break down, first of all, we demystify Twitter. We show you how all the buttons work, the way that Twitter works, and the etiquette that's involved with that. We also show you a strategy very quickly, how to target and grow your audience, a targeted audience, 1,000 followers per month for just 15 minutes of time. So per day, so it's real quick, a lot of work. As anything, the first week or two can be a little cumbersome for you, but you get it down, and it gets down to, trust me, it gets down to 15 minutes a day, and you'll grow your audience. If you do exactly what I tell you to do, your tribe is out there, your beehive is out there. You can find them and connect with them. So that wraps it up for another episode of The Climb, creating leverage in the music business. Brent, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you, my man.
Good to see you, Johnny. Always,
all right, guys.
Always a joy.
Keep climbing, and Brent and I will see you at the top.
We'll see you at the top. All right. Take care.